Hey guys, it's Tim from Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Excuse me, we just saw Strong Style Evolved from New Japan Pro Wrestling live from Long Beach, California. The show. Now, I'm going to preface this. Up to that main event, I was just like, this is just a show. It's not a bad show, but it's not one of those amazingly great shows that we would expect. But then that main event came, and I was just like, oh my God. That main event had to be... I've already seen some people on Twitter say it was better than Gargano Almas. I'm just going to go there. I've seen people say it already. Let's see what you guys have to say here in the chat. YWE Wrestling says, I was there. It was absolutely insane. No, that main event was just holy crap. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Talking WWE says, I'm also from India. The main event was amazing. Shane Kuja says, who won Golden Lovers or the Young Bucks? It was the Golden Lovers. Reluctantly. Because as we're going to talk about, Kenny Omega did not want to hurt the Young Bucks, but had to. Ray appeared. Yes, Ray did appear, but he did not wrestle as he is injured. Love Uncle says better. I'm sorry, but better. Are you saying that the Golden Lovers and the Bucks were better than Gargano Almas? Robert Gayoso says Page or White. We'll get into all the results here shortly. Gonna have to turn that off. All right, we'll get into all the results here shortly. Why is my... Okay, never mind. Fixed it. Okay, and what was the main event? The main event was the Young Bucks versus the Golden Lovers. Nick, what's going on? Nick, are you still at work? If you're not, which I don't know how you're on here if you are. I know you didn't see the show, but yo, the show, that main event. All right, so let's just jump right into it. If you guys do want to call in at any time and give your opinions on Strong Style Evolved, please keep it on topic. Number is on the screen, 559-475-8473. The lines are open. Let's just jump right into it. The opening match of the night did see Roppongi 3K, where Rocky Romero, Sho, and Yo taking on Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, or also known as SoCal Uncensored. It was an all-right match. I mean, it was a good opener. Kaz appeared to tweak his knee at one point coming off the middle rope. He sold it for a minute but continued working. Daniels hit an Ospreay moonsault to the floor. And Sky hit a springboard cutter and firmly took over. At the end, teams traded near falls before Sho and Yo hit Sky with the 3K. Sho pinned Scorpio Sky. Like I said, a really good opening contest. And we then had another tag team match. Other tag team matches like you do see in most New Japan shows. It was Juice Robinson and David Finlay taking on Hiroki Goto and Geto. Late in the match, Finlay ran wild momentarily but was cut off by Goto. All four men jumped in the ring at one point as the match broke down before Juice sent Goto to the outside. Juice then landed a plancha on Goto while Finlay hit Geto in the ring with a cutter, scoring the pin with Juice and Finlay coming up victorious. Let's take a call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Yeah, Tim, what's up?
Not much. What did you think of the show?
Is you there? Is just you there, bro?
Hello?
Yo, Tim, is just you or is Nick there?
It's just me tonight.
Okay, man, that main event. Oh my God, that main event was awesome.
Yes.
This is why I love New Japan. They know how to put on great matches.
Very true.
But stay on top. I thought the whole pay-per-view was good. You're right. The opening match was just a fun match. My favorite matches was Jay White's, just the U.S. title match and the main event. Those are my favorite. Everything else was okay.
Let me ask you about that. Let me ask you about the U.S. title match. Did you think? I thought at 2 points, Jay White almost broke freaking Hangman's neck.
You're not lying. I saw it too. I saw the whole thing. I'm like, whoa.
That
was
snap
scary.
German on the snap German on the apron. If he was just half an inch to the, I
If
want to
his
say,
elbow,
left.
commentator said, if his elbow was not there, he would have been hurt real bad.
Well, that was the second time when he went over the top rope. I'm talking about when they were on the apron, and Jay White went for that German, and
that was scary.
Yeah, and Hangman ended up landing on his feet. But if his head was like, I don't know, a half an inch to an inch to the left, he would have went neck first right there. That was rough.
Jay White needs to be careful.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'll talk about this a little more, but to me, there was parts where I thought he got a little nervous, maybe, and he was just going too fast.
Hangman was keeping his calm. Hangman did great, in my opinion. I'm a Hangman fan. He did great.
Oh yeah.
Hope he wins the title one. Hope he wins the title one day.
I think Hangman really showed the fans what he can do because he's always just been that extra guy in the Bullet Club. But after that match tonight, I think he really showed, hey, he can hang in like a big high-profile match, and not just hang, but in my opinion, he carried that match.
You're not lying. I honestly, I had a feeling he wasn't going to win because they just kind of put the title on Jay White. It would have been weird to take it off him. Right. I had a feeling he wasn't going to win, but Hangman would be awesome champion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see it now. I mean, before going into the match, I was like, if Hangman wins, he wins. But now, after that match, I was like, I wouldn't mind seeing him the champion one day.
Hope he'll get another shot at some title.
Hopefully.
Oh, overall that main event, I think after that match, I know who the best tag teams in the world are. Golden Lovers, Young Bucks, Usos. Those are my top three. Right, those are my top three. All of them are great.
I mean,
that match was just off the charts. Do you think it was 5-star in your opinion?
I think it has to be because I thought that match was better than the Kenny Omega Jericho match, and the Kenny Omega Jericho match got 5 stars.
This match tops that.
Yes, for sure.
I loved it. Hope I see it again, but even better. Well, thanks for taking my call, bro.
Not a problem. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, like I said there, I think if Meltzer doesn't give that match 5 stars, and he was there, him and Alvarez were actually there live together. Alvarez said this was the first time that him and Meltzer had actually sat together at a show, and they've been working together since like 96, 97. That's just crazy to think. First time that Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez have actually sat together at a wrestling show that they were reporting on. Let's see here. We then had another tag team match. It was Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer, the Killer Elite Squad, taking on Chuck Taylor, Chucky T, and Toru Yano. If I had to say one match was the weakest match of the night, I guess I can go with this one. Late in the match, Archer charged in to an exposed buckle, and Taylor scored a near fall. Taylor hit a pile driver on Archer and went for the pin, but Smith broke it up. Smith then took Yano to the outside while Archer and Taylor traded near falls. Archer then hit the choke slam. The final saw Smith jump back into the ring and aid Archer in hitting the killer bomb for the pinfall. Smith and Archer are a good tag team, and I think Chuck Taylor did look good here, even though taking the loss. And Yano is Yano. I mean, what else can you say? He's the comedy guy of New Japan. So next up, it was pretty interesting. It was Cody and Marty Scurll, which Jim Ross got a lot of slack on Twitter because he kept saying Marty Scurll, Marty Scurll, Marty Scurll, and he even acknowledged it during the show. He goes, "I'm being told that I'm not saying the name of Marty Scurll right. I apologize. I'm getting berated on Twitter." EBW Wrestling says, are they putting Young Bucks versus Golden Lovers on Access TV? Well, they just aired it on Access TV. The show's supposed to go up soon, like sometime tonight, if not first thing tomorrow morning, on New Japan World. So if you guys did not see the Strong Style Evolved show, I recommend getting New Japan World if you don't already have it, just for that main event. And I guess for the U.S. title match as well. It was a really good match. I wouldn't say that, like, well, no. I'd say go watch them both. If you're going to watch anything from this show, you watch those two to the co-main events. So Cody comes out before this match, and he's trying to say, we don't need to do this match. This match shouldn't be happening. We don't need to have this match. Bullet Club doesn't need to fight Bullet Club. What do you guys say? Tanga Loa, Tama Tonga, we don't need to do this. Nick says, take my call. And I'll take your call, Nick. I didn't have anything come up except for that last caller. It's the only one that's come so far. Nick, if you don't know the number, 559-475-8473. German Tovar says the commentary was awkward at times. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey!
Hey!
It was a pretty good pay for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, did you see it?
No, I didn't watch it. I saw bits and pieces on Twitter.
No, I know you didn't.
Fucking saw the Young Bucks there. That was interesting.
Huh?
Saw the Usos.
The Usos?
Tama Tonga and Tongaroa.
You dumbass.
Just look dead on like the fucking Usos. Well, I'm not in the stream, but I do want to say, head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/PWUnlimited. Buy our shirts. I love you guys. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Nick jumping on for a selfless plug. Anyways. Yeah, so Cody comes out. Okay, anyways, back to the show. So Cody comes out. Excuse me. And he does the whole thing where we don't need to do this, we don't need to do this, we don't need to do this. Let's not have this match. Let's not do this. And Marty Scurll never wanted to do the match in the first place. When they announced it, he was like, I didn't sign up for that. And crowd started chanting fuck you to Cody at one point. Cody again kept looking at the Guerrillas of Destiny. He's like, these are the OG Bullet Club. I don't know if that's supposed to be a knock on WWE for their new OGBC shirts. But he was like, these are the OG Bullet Club. And Tanga Loa grabbed the mic and said that they would not deny that the crowd the match tonight, and said if there was a side to be on, they were not Team Cody. This then kind of pissed off Cody, and Cody was like, wait, what? Cody got thrown out of the ring, and then Marty Scurll was just like, all right, we're not going to do this. Cody, no. And he thought, you know, Guerrillas of Destiny would be on his side. He's the Bullet Club guy. He doesn't want to fight other members of the Bullet Club. And so he's like standing in the middle of the ring, and the Tama Tonga's on one side of him, Tanga Loa's on the other side of him before they back away. And I think it was Josh Barnett that goes, Marty Scurll, you're not a Tongan. And as he turns around, he just gets blasted by both Tama Tonga and Tanga Loa, and that starts off the match. I thought this was a good match. One of the better, probably number 4 match. I liked the Okada match, the Okada, Ishii, Sabre, Suzuki match better than this one. So I'd say this was number 4 if I was ranking them in order on how I like them. Teams traded offense early before Cody and Scurll took over. Scurll teased the chicken wing, but Cody stole his spotlight and tagged himself in. He went for the crossbones on Loa, but Loa reversed it into his own. Cody hit a disaster kick and went to the top rope, but Tama Tonga cut him off and hit a superplex. Tonga went to the top rope, but Scurll cut him off for a superplex of his own. Tanga Loa hit a superplex on Scurll. They were throwing superplexes early in this match like no other. They all rolled to the outside. Cody then teased doing the Terminator dive as the announcers then said, oh, there's Cody teasing Kenny Omega yet again. He was then cut off with a spear, though, by Tanga Loa. Tanga Loa and Tama Tonga take over briefly before Cody recovered and hit the crossroads on Loa for the pin. Again, I liked this match. And yeah, I liked the dynamic at the beginning of Cody being that smarmy, I'm going to try and get out of this match kind of heel, where he's just like, you know, we're all in the same faction. We're all bros. We're all buddies. We don't need to do this. And yet they did it anyways. Let's see. We then had an 8-man tag team match, Los Ingobernables de Japón. Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, Bushi, and Takahashi taking on Tanahashi, Kushida, Taguchi, Dragon Lee. And do I have to say, props to Taguchi for coming out there with the damn In-N-Out hat on. I loved it. It looked like he just went and got himself a burger and said, can I have a hat? And he brought it with him. You know, kids love that here in California. I don't know if many of you guys know what In-N-Out Burger is, but if you ever come to California, you need to eat In-N-Out. And I'm just going to tell you right now, animal-style fries are God's greatest creation in fast food. I'm just going to say that right now. So, let's see. Tanahashi and Naito started off the match. Great reaction early. Sonata jumped in for the immediate double team, but Tanahashi used a head scissors to escape. Dragonland Takahashi tagged in and traded dozens of palm strikes to the chest, which got great reaction from the crowd. Takahashi went for a flying head scissors, but Dragon Lee used a handspring to avoid taking the bump and hit Takahashi off the top rope. It's Keeks' double-double. Taguchi orchestrated his train attack into the corner on Takahashi, with everyone on his team hitting splashes or clotheslines in the corner consecutively. Taguchi then hit the hip attack at the end of it. Kushida tagged in, but LIJ team jumped him and cut him off. Fast forward here later on in the match, Kushida was able to tag in again, hit a double dragon screw on Ibushi and Takahashi. Sonata tagged in and stopped his momentum by hitting a springboard dropkick. Tanahashi tagged in, and while at the same time Sonata tagged in Naito, Taguchi finally got in. They were just, really quick offense right here. One guy would hit a move, tag out. One guy would hit a move, tag out. One guy would hit a move, tag out. Eventually, it ended up being Takahashi and I want to say Kushida. Kushida attempted submissions on Takahashi, but he broke them up. Things broke down into a four-way, which ended with Takahashi and Naito double-teaming Taguchi. While Takahashi fended off Taguchi's team, Naito hit the Destino for the victory. Before the match, so Naito hit the Destino on Taguchi. 1, 2, 3. Los Ingobernables de Japón then all did their poses in the middle of the ring, and the crowd was going nuts for LIJ. Nuts, chanting LIJ and Naito. Ty said it was sold out, but the capacity was about 4,500 or so, and a bunch of people without seats were standing. No, that place was clear to the rafters, packed. And then I'll just jump to it. So they announced the next show in the U.S. It's July 7th from San Francisco, California at the Cow Palace. It is being called the G1 Special in San Francisco, and there's a tagline associated with this. Let me pull it up really fast. They're saying it's the G1 Special in San Francisco, and the tagline of the show is Fighting Spirit Unleashed. They did not announce if it will air live, which I assume it'll air live on Access TV for us here in the United States. And they did not say, to my knowledge, that I caught. I could have missed it. I don't know. And they did not say when tickets go on sale. But if I'm not mistaken, the Cow Palace for wrestling, let me look it up really fast. Cow Palace capacity. I know yesterday Dave Meltzer did an interview with Kazuchika Okada saying that he would like New Japan to go to the Staples Center, which would be like 15,000 capacity. I think for wrestling, as I see here, it says the Cow Palace could do about 11 to 12,000 depending on the configuration of the building for the show. So they can easily do 10,000, I want to say, for this show at the Cow Palace. Teddy25 said, Tim, did you think Shinsuke and AJ will be as good as it was in Japan? That's too hard to really even... I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. That's a tough one to predict. But Ikki smaller than the G1 Long Beach Arena. Are you saying the Cow Palace or the Walter Pyramid tonight? Because Walter Pyramid tonight was a bigger place than they did last year. Let's see. Anthony Solomon, big ups to Mark Cuban for the show tonight. Well, I mean, yeah, he's I don't know if you can say big ups to Mark Cuban. He's really helped get that brand out here to the United States. He's really helped a lot. But, I mean, it's not just Mark Cuban. It's everybody involved. Red Shoes, Jan, I mean, everybody backstage and everybody that puts on the show. So, Smokey Bear says the show is the same date for WWE MSG, I think. I don't know about that, but I do know the big Stipe Miocic, Daniel Cormier fight for the UFC is the same night. And that's a very highly anticipated fight. So, anyways, moving on. Zack Sabre Jr. No, I skipped a match. Will Ospreay versus Jushin Thunder Liger. Before the match even started, they started playing Rey Mysterio's music, and people were confused. The announcers were even confused. They were like, well, they're playing the music of Rey Mysterio, but we know Rey Mysterio cannot work tonight as he does have an injured arm. And then Rey walked out. And it's like, well, we know he's not working. So he comes down to the ring and he cuts a promo saying, I'm sorry, I'm hurt. Things happen. He then goes on to say that he does want to wrestle for New Japan, maybe something in the future, and then he's going to sit at ringside and watch the match. And he did sit at ringside, and we learned why at the end of this match. So this was a really good match. Will Ospreay versus Jushin Thunder Liger. It's one of the all-time greatest junior heavyweights in New Japan Pro Wrestling versus the current champion of the junior heavyweights. Ty says, I was there live, but did you guys notice the mic issues on TV? Are you talking about where they would start to talk and the mic was like, seemed like it wasn't turned on and then they cranked it up really fast? If that's what you're talking about, then yeah, it did come off on TV as well. It seemed like when someone would go to talk on the mic, they had them turned down, and as soon as they realized someone was talking, they cranked it up really fast. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, we did notice that on TV as well. Back to the match, Ospreay versus Liger. They worked a pace that Liger was good with during this match. It wasn't slow, but it wasn't really as fast as a normal Ospreay match. Liger did look really good for 53 years old. Let me emphasize that again. Liger looked really good for 53 years old. Wait, what? Don't know why they are in. Anyways, Liger hit all his trademark moves, including the Romero Special, the Show Tie, I probably said that wrong, Show Tie, the Frankensteiner, multiple Liger bombs. Ospreay sold a knee tweak for about half of the match. And I don't know I think he was just selling, because when it first happened, when he fell to the outside and he landed weird on the knee, it did look like a bad fall, but the way he was still doing all his big moves, I was like, I think it's just a work. I don't think he's really hurt. Let's see. Match went really, really well, and in the end, Ospreay did hit the Os Cutter on Jushin Thunder Liger for the pinfall. Ospreay then kind of technically called out Rey Mysterio and said, hey, I want to fight you. I want a future match with Rey. I'll even put the title on the line. And then all of a sudden, here comes the villain, Marty Scurll, and this man runs into the ring. He wallops Will Ospreay so hard with his umbrella, he breaks the umbrella. Rey Mysterio then runs in to make the save. Marty Scurll, I don't remember if he kicked Rey or he just did. I know he pulled Rey's mask off and Rey immediately went to the mat because he didn't want to show his face. And one of the young boys at ringside helped Rey cover up his face. And old Marty Scurll, what does he do? He tries to put the mask on, but he doesn't really get it on, and it's kind of just like sitting on the top of his head like a hat. It was interesting. Very, very interesting. So I guess that is going to set up a future match between... I don't know, because Ospreay wants Mysterio. Mysterio obviously will take the match with Ospreay, but now we have Marty Scurll who wants the title match. So maybe they do a triple threat, maybe they do a single somewhere down the line. There is a big show next weekend. I don't think it's going to take place then. There's another big show at the end of April. So we'll have to see exactly when this next junior heavyweight title match does take place, whether it's Will Ospreay and Rey Mysterio or it's Will Ospreay and Marty Scurll. So next up, we had a match that I really enjoyed. Zack Sabre Jr. and Minoru Suzuki taking on Kazuchika Okada and Tomohiro Ishii. So match, early on in the match, Zack Sabre Jr., like right at the beginning, got right in Okada's face, right in his face. And Ishii was like, hey, calm down. Back it up, Kazuchika. Back it up. No need yet. And Okada and Sabre did start the match, worked to a stalemate. They tagged their partners in, but continued going at it on the outside. Suzuki and Ishii went to the outside as well. Suzuki went for a chair. Went to use a chair on Ishii right in front of the referee. Ishii and Sabre double-teamed... No, Suzuki and Sabre double-teamed Ishii with arm bars while Okada took the referee. Sabre worked over Ishii's leg while the crowd did dueling chants for both teams. Suzuki tagged in and continued working over the leg of Ishii. Let's see. Fast forward in the match a little bit. Suzuki tagged Sabre, who scored a near fall on Ishii. Suzuki took Okada to the floor and applied a sleeper hold, while Ishii got his second wind in the ring. Ishii hit a powerbomb for a near fall, but Sabre tried a guillotine choke, and Ishii slipped out of it. Okada jumped in and hit a drop kick, leading to a near fall from Ishii onto Sabre. While Suzuki held Okada down in the corner, Sabre was able to apply I think it's called the orienteeing into the Napalm Death, a calf slicer single leg Boston Crab combo. The referee called for the stoppage. After the match, Sabre laid out Okada with an octopus hold only 1 week before he challenges Okada for the title next week. They then announced the New Japan coming to San Francisco, which we already talked about. It's called the New Japan G1. Again, it's called the New Japan G1 Special in San Francisco, Fighting Spirit Unleashed. Omar Jordan said Nick and Tim had a fight and broke up. No, Nick's just got a normal 9 to 5 and actually couldn't be here. That's all it is. Actually, we actually may have some big things in store WrestleMania weekend, so keep an eye on that. We then go forward in the U.S. title match, Jay White defending against Hangman Page. I really liked this match, other than the 2 spots where I thought Hangman Page was almost paralyzed or broke his neck. Few minutes into the bout, they were trading offense with neither guy getting a clear edge. They were chanting. That changed up when Page clotheslined White through the middle ropes, sending him to the floor of the outside. He whipped White into the guardrail and threw him into the ring post. Back inside the ring, Page deadlifted White, then bridged. This was a sick move. It was like I think Josh Barnett called it a ball and chain. It was kind of a variation of a pump handle, but then he just basically like slow flow Germaned him over and bridged it into the pin, only for a 2 count though. Page typically does this spot at least once every match. White was able to stop Page with a lariat and a double sledge. White got a near fall with a low suplex into the buckle. White went for a Kiwi Crusher, but Page turned it into a small package, scoring a near fall. White hit a bridging German for a near fall and continued selling his back. Page countered with a draping DDT. Page went to the apron for a slingshot, but White cut him off. He tried, he tied Page up in the ropes and chopped him hard. Like, he was chopping him over and over so hard that Hangman's chest was visibly bruised and battered. I'm just going to say that right now. Bruised and battered. White went for the Blade Runner on the apron, and Page avoided it. White had to settle for a DDT on the apron, and he hit a gut-wrench suplex on Page from the apron to the floor, and this is when I thought he almost killed Hangman Page. Like, literally, he hit the suplex. Page flipped to his feet to the outside, but his head almost, like the back of his head and neck almost just crushed on the apron. Oh my God, that would have been bad. Let's see. They kneeled on the mat and traded forearm strikes for a little while. Both men seemed like they were trying to catch their wind after a long series. Both men got to their feet and continued trading blows. Where was I? I just lost my spot. They were trading blows. White suplexed Page over the top rope to the floor. And this was another spot where, so he basically like German suplex Page to the outside. And Page goes over the top rope and he comes down and he kind of got his arm on the apron to kind of stop his momentum a little bit. Again, if he wouldn't have done that, he would have went face first into Jay White needed to just slow down a little bit. Like I said with that caller earlier, slow down a little bit. So, let's see. They got back into the ring, and Jay White went for the Blade Runner, but Page countered into a powerbomb. He followed with a pile driver for a near fall. White rolled to the outside. White followed him, and Hangman followed him, and nailed a standing shooting star from the apron. It was basically, so Jay White was on the outside. Hangman Page goes to the apron, runs, does a shooting star Doesn't quite get it all, but he does manage to make it look like a shooting star, basically a shooting star shoulder tackle, and then lands face first on the floor. He basically shooting starred the floor, but did get that shoulder. So, I mean, it all worked out. It was a shooting star shoulder tackle. Let's see. Page then hit a moonsault from the post to the floor. Amazing. Page hit a lariat for a near fall. Page went for the rites of passage, but White rolled through for a near fall. White hit a half Nelson suplex for a near fall, and then a Kiwi crusher for yet another near fall. Jay White went for the Blade Runner, but Page countered, hit a super kick, and went for the rites of passage, but White countered into a Blade Runner for the 3, retaining the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Very, very good match. Like I said, thought that Jay White just needed to slow down a little bit. That Page came out very lucky here that he wasn't hurt any worse than he was. And then after the match, David Finlay actually attacked Jay White and said that he was challenging Finlay to a match on April 24th at Korakuen Hall for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Like, guess the match is official? I guess in New Japan, when you come out and just challenge, it's official. You don't got to wait for an official announcement. It just happens. So we will be getting Finlay in his really, this is Finlay's first real big match in New Japan. We've seen him have some singles matches here and there. We've seen him in really good tag team matches low on the card. But now he's challenging for the title. I don't know if Finlay wins the title here. I wouldn't take it off Jay White just yet. But I think it could be, I mean, for sure it's going to be a really big test for Finlay. It's like I said, Finlay's first really big match in New Japan. So we'll see how it goes. April 24th, Korakuen Hall. Then we had match of the night. If not, so far, match of 2018. The Golden Lovers versus the Young Bucks. And first thing they did, when they come out there, you hear Josh Barnett. Look at Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi repping the brand new Golden Lovers merchandise. Hot off the press. You can get those now. Dang, you really just pushing out that merch. So, match starts out, and it's Matt Jackson and Ibushi. Now, keep in mind, this was a 60-minute time limit. They went about 40, I think. Because I think at one point I did hear them say 35 minutes has elapsed. And they went about 5 minutes more than that. Not quite 10. No Chill says, was I the only one that thought Josh and JR were talking too much? I don't think it was that they were talking too much. I just think that they were just... They're different than Don Callis and Kevin Kelly, if that's what you're used to with New Japan. And they like to just say things differently. Kevin Kelly knows more of the, he's around the guys more. So he knows the guys more. He knows what the guys do more. And so I think it's just the fact of Kevin Kelly fits the New Japan style better because what we're used to, because he calls the show more. He's around the guys. He's got a relationship with a lot of the guys. And so it's just different. I think that's what it was. I saw some people online, which I said it as well. I love JR, but I really wish I would have just got we would have just got Kevin Kelly and Don Callis. Jay Money says, I watched Japan commentary. Unfortunately, it wasn't available for us here in the United States. At least I didn't see. I tried to load it up and didn't work for me. It just said, you're not in Japan, you can't watch this. But I was watching it on Access TV anyways. Brian Cruz said it felt like JR had no energy. Yeah, JR did just seem like he was just calling the show. It wasn't like I said, I think it's because everyone's so used to Kevin Kelly who just gets into it. I think the best commentary team I've seen in a very long time was Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino. Kevin Kelly and Don Callis are still really good as well. But anyways, back to the match. So Matt and Jackson and Ibushi start the match, and they're beating down on each other for Ibushi takes control. Ibushi gets Matt Jackson down. He starts putting boots to the back of Matt when Kenny all of a sudden runs in and goes, whoa, calm down, calm down. He's hurt. Don't hurt him any worse than he is. And so Kenny turns around like he's going to help Matt to his feet, and Matt just blasts Kenny. And Kenny's like, oh, that's how it's going to be. Well, then screw this. And they just all went at it. And this match from then on, amazing. So, like I said, Kenny was just like, oh, Matt, you want to play that game? we're going now. Like, Kenny was going to just have a match. Was not going to take it too hard on his buddies. But when Matt pushed him, he was just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's see. So Omega tagged himself in. Matt cheap shotted Ibushi on the apron. Omega then tagged out, leaving Nick and Ibushi. Omega tagged out, and Matt tagged out, leaving Nick Jackson and Ibushi as the legal men. Ibushi delivered some kicks, but Omega started selling that he was conflicted, allowing the Bucks to take advantage. Kenny did this a lot in this match. He was just like, excuse me, he was just like, you know, we want to win, Golden Lovers, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt my friends. And that was that and the back injury to Matt Jackson were the big stories of this match, and they played off of all of it very, very well. So Omega went for the Terminator dive at one point, and right as he was about to go over the ropes, he was super kicked by by Nick Jackson. No, who? I think it was Matt. Yeah, it was Matt Jackson. And that was a hard super kick, and freaking he had these wings on the side of him. And I don't know how, but the wing kind of like broke off a little bit, and Josh Barnett goes, the wing just flew off of the side of Omega's trunks. It was like shooting a pigeon. Matt Jackson then goes to the outside and he pulls out a table from under the ring as he looked like he was going to set it up. Nick then comes out and goes, what are you doing? No, 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 no. Nick hit a springboard dive from the top rope to the floor on both Omega and Ibushi. While Omega sold on the floor, the Bucks used tandem offense on the inside to Ibushi. Ibushi countered and hit a dive from the post to the floor on Nick. Ibushi's offense was short-lived as the Bucks regained control. Matt was selling his back. And here, you know, Kenny kept, you know, Kenny was outside and they kept holding him back and keeping him out of the ring while they were double teaming on Ibushi. And I'm sitting here like, it's a tag team match. Is this a tornado tag? Red Shoes, do your job. Red Shoes, get control of the match. There's a lot of I thought it was tornado tag because there was a lot of double teaming and guys that weren't supposed to be in legal, and Red Shoes was just like, I'm just going to count the pin when you guys are ready for it. Let's see here. Ibushi hit a desperation drop kick and tagged in Kenny Omega, who went to work on Matt's back. Golden Lovers took over and hit succession moonsaults for near falls. They hit stereo golden triangle moonsaults, but I think Ibushi didn't quite get all of the moonsault on Matt Jackson, so he just hit him with a hip toss to take him down. Let's see. Ibushi went and worked over Matt's back a little more on the outside. Matt was able they got in the ring, and Matt was able to tag in Nick. Nick shifted momentum to the Bucks with a bulldog on both of the Golden Lovers. Nick hit a tope to the floor on Kenny Omega. Matt hit a blockbuster on Ibushi, and Nick covered for a near fall. Both Bucks went to the top rope, and Ibushi shoved Nick to the floor. Omega and Ibushi then hit a double superplex to Matt Jackson, and they almost slipped. I think it was Omega almost slipped on the top rope. That would have been bad. But they did hit the superplex barely. Omega and Ibushi then teased the golden shower, but Nick cut them off and hit Omega with a superplex on the apron. A suplex on the apron, sorry. Bucks set up the table. They were just finally like, you know what, screw this. This is going down, this is going down. And Nick Jackson set up that table. He bridged it between the ring and the guardrail. But it didn't get used quite yet. They teased using it. They teased an electric chair through the table, but Ibushi was able to grab Matt Jackson and hit him with a scary snap German suplex. Nick and Omega then brawled on the outside while Ibushi and Matt traded strikes in the ring. Omega jumped back inside and cut Matt off with a V-trigger, but Ibushi landed his last rights powerbomb for a near fall. Matt rolled through to his knees and got another V-trigger, which got the Golden Lovers yet another near fall. Omega whipped Nick Jackson over the barricade while Matt and Ibushi worked on the inside of the ring. Ibushi went for a standing moonsault, but Matt got his knees up. Omega jumped in for the save, but at that time, Nick Jackson ran back in and hit Omega with a super kick. And I think he hit him with a second super kick as well. Nick then hit a moonsault tornado DDT to Omega on the outside while Matt applied the sharpshooter on Kota Ibushi. Now, Matt had this sharpshooter in for a while, and he was going good with it, and then eventually the back gave out. And he's been playing this back injury thing up very well. I know when they first started, he hurt his back at Wrestle Kingdom. Then the first couple matches they had, he oversold it, I think. I think he just went too far with it, but now he's selling it enough to where it's an issue, but it's not comically being sold. And what happened here is he was trying to lock in, he was really trying to wrench, because at one point, Ibushi almost got to the ropes, and Matt dragged him back to the middle of the ring, and he was trying to wrench in and trying to wrench in and trying to wrench in that sharpshooter, but finally, he pulled back one too many times, and just the back cracked on him, and he just fell to the mat. Ibushi, no. Omega was on the floor where am I? Oh, there we go. Matt Jackson got to his feet and tagged in Nick. They teased more bang for your buck, but instead of Matt hitting his move on Ibushi, he ended up splashing. So they went for the more bang for your buck on Kota Ibushi. Nick Jackson hit his splash, and then Matt rolled up. Matt rolled up to the top rope, and you think, okay, more bang for your buck. He's gonna hit the moonsault on Kota Ibushi, and instead, all of a sudden, Kenny Omega was trying to get. I don't know what happened. How Kenny got on the table, I'm not exactly sure. But Kenny was laying on the table and ended up getting elbow dropped through the table. Matt Jackson comes off the top rope, from the top rope to the floor, elbow dropped through the table. Kenny was folded. Kenny was folded in half. Crowd then starts chanting, "Fight forever, fight forever, fight forever." Omega was Nick then hit a splash on Ibushi with a draping DT from the middle rope, landing a second fall, a two fall, near fall. Crowd was just hot at this point. Like I said, they were chanting "Fight forever." Omega and Matt traded strikes later on in the match as the show hit the 4-hour mark. Omega hit a dragon suplex, but didn't really get all of the dragon suplex, and this allowed Matt to jump straight to his feet and hit a badass pile driver on Kenny Omega. He removed his weight belt and started whipping Omega with it a couple times. Omega then grabbed it. Red Shoes tried to take it away from Matt at one point. Matt was like, "No, you're not taking this belt from me," and he janked it back, and at that point, Omega was able to get the belt, and it looked like Omega was going to hit Matt with it, and then he had second thoughts. Omega grabbed, after tossing the belt away, he then hit Matt with 2 V-triggers. He went for a third one, but Matt countered it into a spear. Nick and Matt then went for the Meltzer driver, but Ibushi hit, Nick went for the Meltzer driver, but Ibushi hit the last rites through the ringside table. So, here's how it went down. They were going to do the Meltzer on Kenny Omega. Nick Jackson was on the ring apron. As he was about to springboard himself up, Kota Ibushi grabs his legs. Grabs him, puts him up for the powerbomb, and just slams him as hard as he can. Like literally as hard as he could through a table at ringside. I don't know who was sitting there. It didn't look like commentary. May have been the bell guy, the ring bell guy. Timekeeper's area, whatever you want to call it. But Nick Jackson went hard through this table. Omega, wait. So at this point, Omega picked up Matt Jackson. He was going to go for the One Ring Angel, but he was very reluctant about it. He wasn't wanting to hit the move on his former friend. He went for a pin, but Nick drove in and broke it up. Nick jumped in and hit both of the Golden Lovers with strikes. Ibushi cut him off and sent Matt to the outside. Omega and Ibushi then hit Golden Trigger on Matt for the pin. Now, going back to that One-Winged Angel spot. So, Kenny had Matt up for the One-Winged Angel, and he was like, do I grab him and do it? Do I grab him and do it? And you hear Matt, he literally grabbed Omega's arm, grabbed his head with Omega's arm and goes, "Kenny, if you're going to do it, just do it." Like, no more pussyfooting around this shit. He's like, if you're going to do it, just do it. And so Kenny hit him, but he only got a 2 count. And like I said, they did both hit what they call the golden, what is it called? The golden trigger, which is just both of them hitting the V trigger. And they won the match. Omega then kind of went over to Matt and was like saying something. I don't know exactly, but he was like, we're good. We're buddies. I don't know where this leaves us. Da, 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 da. Golden Lovers were then getting ready to leave. And Cody runs in. And Cody was yelling at Matt Jackson. And Nick comes over and is like, Cody, what the fuck, guy? What the hell, bro? And so Cody goes and he shoves Nick down. And he goes to shove Matt down. And Kenny runs back in. And Ibushi runs back in. And Cody runs off. And it's like, Cody, what are you doing here, bro? You're just trying to start more shit. So Cody runs off. And Omega then offered handshakes to both Nick and Matt, and they embraced it. Omega offered Matt a handshake. He refused, though, and rolled out of the ring. So it's weird. Nick took the handshake. Matt wouldn't take the handshake. Dissension in the Bullet Club. What's going to happen? Omega then cut a promo after the match. He said that there are a lot of casualties in war. He's upset that the dissension between the elite, and they were the dissension between the elite has caused so many casualties, but he chose to find the silver lining in things. The silver lining is that the Golden Lovers are back. Not just for now, but they're back. And whether New Japan likes it or not, they should be in a key match when they come back to New Japan, or when they come back to California in July. He promises to beat up Cody Rhodes very, very soon in a bigger and much better building. Omega said he might have a broken orbital bone, which is weird, really weird to say that. And then he finished off the promo with his goodbye. Or no, with his, goodbye and good night. Bang. Really good show. Like I said, before the U.S. title match, I was just like, this has not been a bad show. Then the U.S. title match happened, and I'm like, okay, things are stepping up. I still don't know if I would rate this show that great. And then that main event was like, 8 or 9 out of 10 show for me. Whew. Wicked Shifter says, how much is New Japan World? Now, if you're in the United States, if you equate it over, it's 999 yen. It's a little less than $10. It's right around $9.99-ish. Sorry. War Hero 99 says, I'm losing respect for Cody, and it's time for brother to turn on brother. You think that the Bucks are finally going to turn on each other. Oh, that's going to be a tough one to sell to the crowd. It's weird. When the Hardys turned on each other, that was like a long time coming. People were cool with it. I don't know if people are going to be cool with the Bucks turning on each other. That's going to be a tough one. But like I said, good show. Really good U.S. title match. Amazing tag team main event. And yeah, if Kenny did break his orbital bone, we'll find out here probably tonight or early tomorrow morning. I can't confirm that. It's just something he just randomly said. He was just like, yep, I may have a broken orbital bone. Coda's got a busted up mouth. We're good. So, I mean, I've seen guys get I was there when Austin Aries broke his orbital bone. He was not able to go any farther as soon as that happened. So for Kenny Omega to say that but finish off the match, who knows when it actually happened. If I do hear anything on Kota Ibushi possibly having a broken orbital bone, we'll let you know. But with that, that's going to do it for the Strong Style Evolved review and recap. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Follow us here on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Search us on Instagram. And, of course, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at TimmyBuddy. And, of course, also, go check out our buddies over there at Fightful. Fightful Online on Twitter. Fightful Wrestling. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow after Raw.